Exclusive! The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Hear your name in the game. Game. I rewatch Jacob Geller's videos all the time. That's easy to do, they're quite short.
What do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Name. Everyone's got one. Hear yours today. Road to the perfect button. That one is too small, that one is just right. Can't touch it though. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. I don't think it... Is it gonna like try and pull from Steam to some meta like that? It wouldn't bring attention to itself if it was going to do that, I don't think.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
That what? It said my name!
You see,
My name's
what a
Jim!
thrill, what a
How
rush!
did you know
It was
that?
you! The button described you.
Oh.
Do it again, do it again.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in
Seriously,
the
how
Stanley
did know?
Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose
Jim.
all sense
Jim.
of who
Jim.
you actually
Jim.
are.
Jim.
I know who I am. I'm Jim. And I always have been. Can I have the button back, please? I don't know who I am without it. Jim. Is this... Okay, so this is one of the new features in the game. I do like the Jim button. It's no 8 button, but it's a Jim button. Now, if my name was 8 and they replaced that button with the other... now we're talking.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Please no screenshots. That's okay, I don't take screenshots at all. Investor Showcase, the magazine. This year's hottest investment opportunities. Sequel, what's better than that? Nothing. Top 10 investors currently visiting the show floor. A whole new office. Red is the new orange. The new updated ray traced, more of the same, but in a good way, sequel to the new features, new content, and new ideas. Rhapsody, you're currently taking 30 screenshots a second, excuse me, I stream in 60. The baby is all grown up now. We'll see more about that later. Consistent quality with just the right amount of change. Then again, James Pearson has a nice feel to it. Yeah, Jim is kind of my middle name, if you want to think about it like that, Ryan James Pearson. I've never gone by Jim, and I don't think I ever will. Outside of the context of the fact that I am Jim within this game. Please, no screenshots. Ooh. 344. Not sure if that's important at all.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Oh, do I get a choice? Here we are. Get Well Someday or Happy 12th Birthday, Stepniece. I used to Jimothy Pearson III. Finally, a title befitting. I, for the longest period of time, effectively as soon as I was made aware of, it is a custom on people's birthday to buy a card and hand it to them, immediately I decided I needed to buy the card that least fit the situation every single time. So, for instance, if a friend has, graduated or something like that, I don't know why I'm giving my friend a graduation gift. That seems not entirely required, but let's say that is the circumstance. Then I would give them a, sorry your grandma died card, kind of something completely left of field. So, happy 12th birthday, stepniece.
Sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
You must be fun at wakes. Yeah, I mean, I just turn up with all of these exciting gifts in this big card that says, Happy First Birthday. Jim. It's just a coincidence that one also read Jim.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on. Come now, you've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
Happy first birthday is whatever. Imagine if it said happy last birthday. Someone just hiding in the bushes with a laser dot trained on your forehead for that moment. Concrete contemplations. Plain reinforced, pre-stressed, pre-cast, lightweight bag of sea-smart polymer. And the rest. How to look at concrete and how to not look at it. The holy moly. How deep can we dig? The answer will mildly surprise you. This could be literal. Like, that could be, like, taken out of a physics paper. And I would not be able to tell. This is an office slide. Or this is, like, a 100-level engineering project. Where they've asked you to label 5 things in every figure, and you're like, God... It's just a hole. What do you want me to lay? Opening, rim, depth, infinite, surrounding area. And then clearly a panic attack as they did not get a 5th. Where does one get a Happy Alcoholics Anonymous graduation, Grandma? 5th time's the charm card anyway. I think you have to make those at home out of macaroni. I think that one's that you really have to put the effort into it, unfortunately. Or you can modify the far more popular Happy Alcoholics Anonymous graduation, Grandma, 4th time's the charm. Because most of them get it on the 4th. Infinite hold charts. Oh, there's some science in there. It just keeps going. All right.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
I'm just gonna take a second the fact that they leave this as like a set that is getting closed in, that you are immediately able to see the inside of and then collapses, is just super neat. It's a great touch. Like, I can see them trying to do this same kind of thing, you know, in the mod version many, many years ago, and not doing it, not presenting it anything like this, let's say. There's a lot of thought into the presentation factor of each of these. I'm gonna go around. See if there's any... Okay. Didn't Portal technically have infinite holes? Yeah, I mean, yeah, Portal on the ceiling, Portal on the floor. That'll do it. I mean, there's a lot of games where you fall, like, a lot, but they, I imagine, probably cheat. Like, the player is not falling a infinitely respawning map, kind of like a old Hanna-Barbera cartoon background, is just streaming past.
You see, isn't it wonderful?
Hey, what
One
is
of my
this?
more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Nah, there's probably a bottom to this infinite hole, right?
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top.
Why?
Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Any particular reason for that one, bud?
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
This is a sturdy mug. Thanks for dropping by, Skeeve. Catch you around. This was dropped a near infinite distance, and the terminal velocity it reached was not enough to crack it. So much as even snap the handle.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Oh, for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot.
There's something about the wording of a very aggressive divot that I love. There's an old Rowan Atkinson stand-up sketch where, and it's extremely dated by this point, he is playing an Indian waiter, where some drunk tourists, no, because it's in England, so some drunk Englishmen have walked in trying to get food, obviously, but making a nuisance. And one of them trips and blames Rowan Atkinson's waiter character, and the waiter responds, "Oh, yes, that's my fault entirely. The floor is deceptively flat and unimpeded," which I've loved that line forever. And something about it tickles me in the same way as a very aggressive divot.
How is this still appealing to you?
Yes.
I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge?
Come in here with me.
You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Can I learn to jump? Achievement unlocked, you can't jump. I wonder, if I'd left myself with one available jump in the other area, would I have had the ability to actually jump out of here? Or did I need to use all of the jumps in the other area to even progress? That's something the game would do. Whoop. Oh. See, all you have to do is have faith in the hole, trust in the hole, be in the hole, and it will extend. Goodbye, cruel, holeless world. I barely knew you. Change your perspective. Change your perspective. Now really, Stanley, change your perspective, your perception. It's ambiguous as whether or not the narrator is aware of previous playthroughs. I don't know how to dance in any way, shape, and or form, so this is legitimately what I actually do if music comes on at a club. I've got like my fighting style is my fighting style. I ruined the punchline, but my dance style is best described as as the animation on the character select screen for a fighting game. Okay, harder to dance to. Out of all of the music so far, this sounds like... This most sounds like what I listen to.
My head's stronger, now you're no longer using up this space of mine. My head's stronger, now you're no longer using up this space of mine. My head's stronger.
Is it building to anything?
You're no longer using up this space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up this space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up this space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no... Hey!
How many are there total? That's pretty cool. I like this angle. So this is very clearly backmasked. No clue what it says, but it's almost certainly invoking Satan. Suddenly we're playing Control. That seems the right atmosphere. How many do they have? I should have waited to do the replace it with myself until we had change yourself. I didn't know that was coming. Looks like a character in Hello Neighbor.
Stanley! Stanley! Oh good, you're awake. It seems you had
Sorry, my name's Jim.
There, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
All right, back to my reality. You want to descend? Is it actually gonna? For real, seriously? No. Unfortunately, the end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. Sad you didn't see the puppy Alright, there's an ending I have to do again, apparently.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
I could... Well, I mean, first we're going past the merch table. I mean, that is a QR code, so... give me but a moment. As I must inspect this. Can we go back to the hole, please? Life doesn't make sense outside of the hole. Yeah. It takes me to thestanleyparable2.com. Huh? Welcome to the official website of The Stanley Parable 2. A sequel, huh? Watch our helpful and informative video to learn more about the Stanley Parable and what the journey of becoming a sequel is all about. You'll want to pull that up on stream? Alright. Alrighty. Let me make sure that I have these well set so I can do so. Actually, I should probably drop the lighting there just a little bit. Sometimes when the developers are watching Twitch, they show streamers playing the game. Oh! That is neat, but I do not expect anything such. Let's go for display cap on the same, because then I can just bring up the browser in here. StanleyParable2.com. Taste the sequel, now in Expo Hall 2. A sequel, huh? Watch our helpful and informative video to learn more about the Stanley Parable and what the journey of becoming a sequel is all about. The Stanley Parable sequels and you.
Say there, Timmy, what's that you're enjoying? Why, it's breakfast, of course. Everyone loves breakfast. But did you know that breakfast is getting a sequel? That's right. It's called Lunch. And critics are raving that lunch will be everything breakfast was and more. With a little luck, we may even get a trilogy series out of it. Say, you know what a sequel is, don't you, Timmy? Why, sequels are the world's way of clinging helplessly to the past. We all want more of the things we love, and we're all afraid of change, which is what makes sequels so popular. New ideas are dangerous, Timmy, and they can lead to early aging. This eager-minded young thinker is just 29 years old. That's why we have sequels, to keep us couched in the familiar and the comfortable. Sequels are the bedrock of a healthy, functional society. And if you look around you, you'll find them everywhere you go. For instance, this man is developing a sequel to the automobile, which we'll call the vertical automobile. It's a useless, impractical invention, and in 2 days' time the man will be publicly stoned to death for his crimes against gravity. Not all sequels are heretical nonsense, however. Here's the man who invented breathing, which is the sequel to suffocating and dying a slow death. Even your parents are getting a sequel, Timmy. Their names are Rob and Jessica, and they'll be taking care of you once your original parents are sent back in time to fight a secret war for the government. Sequels can be very fashionable. This young woman is wearing 5 shirts at once, which is the sequel to wearing 4 shirts at once. Look at Becky over there, wearing only 2 shirts at once. Get with the times, Becky. In fact, there is only one single thing in the world that isn't a sequel. It's this. We don't know what it is or why it exists, but it's the prequel from which all sequels are derived. And just like everything else, the Stanley Parable is getting a sequel too. We all know, of course, that it was your favorite game as a child. Don't you remember those long, lazy afternoons you spent playing the Stanley Parable? Watching your precious youth fritter away hour after hour. We've all wasted our childhoods in one way or another, and you were fortunate enough to get to waste yours on the Stanley Parable. But the Stanley Parable came out years ago, and you're not a child anymore. You're a man, which is like the sequel to a child. And as a man, you want manly things like taxes and cheating at baseball. You need a man's video game, Timmy. And that's why the Stanley Parable 2 will be perfect for you. It's as manly as video games can get. And if you don't believe me, let's look at the burly hunk of a man who's responsible for the game. Here he is, hard at work. His name is Gregory 8-Pack, and he's the cutting picture of raw, virile masculinity. Gregory is what we call the ideas guy, and he has the most important role on the team. The ideas guy tirelessly comes up with interesting concepts and then hands them off to the rest of the developers for the relatively simple job of turning those concepts into reality. For example, he's the one who picked up the phone and declared, "Someone ought to make a sequel to the Stanley Parable." Good work, Gregory. Go ahead and take the rest of the day off. With the hard part out of the way, work on the game can now begin. The game's developers must answer a simple question. What makes a sequel in the first place? Well, it's simple. Sequels are an opportunity to correct the mistakes of their predecessors. We've all made mistakes, and we've all caused harm to someone we love in order to cover up our mistakes. When developing this particular sequel, it's important to start by thinking, what mistakes did the original Stanley Parable make? Well, first off, most of the pornography in the original game was stolen or pirated, and it's time we paid the licensing fees fair and square. Second, the Stanley Parable was catastrophic for this man named Leroy, whose personal information, including home address, social security number, and bank information, were all displayed prominently in multiple locations throughout the game. Although Leroy's money and identity were stolen, the fact remains that his personal information was the emotional core of the game and absolutely vital to a nuanced understanding of the story. As reparation for the harm we caused him, the sequel will contain a brief and insincere apology to Leroy tucked deep within the game where it will be difficult to find. Finally, the Stanley Parable made the mistake of leaking too many government secrets about the nature of the Time Wars. Without these intricate details of specific military tactics, the story is likely to make very little sense. But we've decided to remove them from the sequel in the interest of helping the state's efforts. We'll get to you yet, Time Dracula. Now then, it's time to set about constructing the Stanley Parable 2. Game development is a difficult and complex art, one which can only be fully understood by this race of hyper-intelligent child soldiers bred in laboratories. They begin by studying the original Stanley Parable. Here it is in its raw, untouched form, a specimen of technological perfection. Time to exploit it for profit. We begin by adding jokes. The Stanley Parable was most widely known for its stark lack of humor, bucking all conventional industry wisdom. It was a bold artist statement that its developers stood firmly behind. But in 2022, it's impossible to reach even a single consumer of video games without jokes of some kind. So very well, jokes it'll be. During its development, over 500 kiloliters of comedy will be funneled directly into the core of the Stanley Parable 2, creating jobs for hundreds of machine operators and producing 30,000 tons of pollutant chemical byproduct, which will be pumped directly into local lakes, rivers, and beautiful nature reserves like these all over the country. Another common complaint of the Stanley Parable is that there wasn't enough gameplay, and so for the sequel, its developers have gone to great lengths to fix this problem. Here we can see gameplay being printed onto sheets. Every video game contains as many as 1,000 sheets of gameplay, and several of the largest games ever made contain close to 1,500. On mobile devices, the gameplay sheets have to be printed smaller. For the Stanley Parable 2, as many as 35 new gameplay sheets are being printed, each of which must be delicately massaged by the hands of a child before being added into the game. This man is stealing gameplay sheets from the factory, which he likely intends to use for a personal project he's been developing in his spare time. A good public stoning will cure him of that inclination. Let's check on Gregory real quick. Ha! Still recovering from a hard day's work. Don't you move a muscle. Next up, it's time to blackmail the press. In a competitive market, blackmailing your local journalist can be one of the most effective methods of creating word-of-mouth buzz for your sequel. In fact, blackmail is the currency of social progress. From your neighborhood grocer to the teacher at your school to the man who helps you steal HBO, everyone responds to blackmail. And if you've never done it before, it's easy to practice at home on your friends and family. Simply follow the instructional pamphlet that your teacher hands out after the end of the film. And finally, there's one last tool at our disposal for making the sequel feel fresh and exciting, and that's packaging the game with collector's edition merchandise. If you order the Stanley Parable 2, you'll receive this cow's egg. A single egg will produce over 1,000 cows, which are, of course, the sequel to pigs. And there you have it, everything there is to know about producing the Stanley Parable 2. Of course, you may know that there is also a game titled The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. So which game is the true sequel to the Stanley Parable? It's an excellent question, Billy. One which the child soldiers have been working round the clock to come up with an answer to. And after many weeks of diligent research, the conclusion they've reached is, who gives a shit? All that matters is that it's more content for you to cram down your insatiable gullet. You don't want thoughtful and nuanced answers to complex questions, Billy. You just want to eat bubble gum and cheat at hopscotch. So get out there and consume. Do your civic duty and bully your parents into buying you every version of the Stanley Parable 2 on every platform. Tell your friends to bully their parents as well. It's through community efforts like these that the world comes together, in harmony and connection. And it's only through this connection that we'll defeat Time Dracula once and for all. Don't let the time-traveling vampires win. Buy the Stanley Parable 2 and pledge to support all sequels for today, tomorrow, and into the great unknowable beyond.
3 years. There's a 3-year-old right there. Good Lord, why are you recommending that to me? I watch a lot of philosophy videos, but for seriously? What else do we have here? Oh, this sucks. You know what this is? This is a blank browser watching it, because why would I watch YouTube through the Steam browser? So this is watching one video in a blank browser. Following recommendation, Jordan Peterson. YouTube plays a very large role in radicalizing a lot of white supremacists. It's weird how that keeps happening. Ugh. Strange. I can't believe it's not algorithmically endorsed. Too spicy. Merch. Wait, no, back on that page. Hang on, there's probably more on that page. Twitch.tv/ Wait, no, that's not what I'm looking for. With StanleyParable.com. The Stanley Parable sequels and you. Oh, and that is basically the end of it, right? That's new. If you're more of a prequel sort of person, check out the Stanley Parable. Thanks for dropping by. This t-shirt is the best new feature. I saw the new content. I mean, I would legitimately buy a shirt like that, probably just to support the developers, to be entirely honest, which puts me as part of the problem. That makes me part of the problem, right?
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
I have the bucket.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body.
It's a powerful
In
bucket.
fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Thank you.
I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Sure, I'll keep it with me. This is our companion cube.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
The button that says Jim. That's Jim. You heard Jim in the game. I wonder if it knows I have a button. A bucket. Bucket in the hole. I will have to try that next. So what do you think Stanley likes to eat? Anything served from a bucket. Unfortunately, that button has since disappeared after I pressed it too many times. That's the epilogue, so that's the last thing we're going to want to go to. Free and easy achievement, collectible, no. I think the hole may no longer be here. Stanley reassurance button. That's new up there, something. Jump circle, mostly infinite. It says the mostly infinite hole is up here. But I don't think I've been here. Oh, I guess I must have fumbled my way. Oh, jump circle's back. Guess I must have fumbled my way into it. Somehow. The handle jiggle is very good. I really appreciate that little touch on it. It makes it so much more tangible an object in the world. Yeah, I don't think I can. I can't door. I don't. Free new plus easy achievement. I can't believe it's that simple. Get it here. We'll do that in just a second. I gotta check out this jump circle. What if they refill my amount of jumps?
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
Reset my jumps? No jumps remaining, player tiers. I could feel a couple of those. I just wanted to go up. Very slightly, for a short period of time, crest, and then fall back down. Just a smiling too. Jump circle, oh. The guide is N5QB7. The hash sign, B squared 3 semicolon A9K. Settings world champion. Where would that be? Settings world champion around the corner over to the left. I did this, didn't I? This is how I got over. Got it. Kind of just gonna approach this in the same way I usually would and make sure I clear out everything early before clearing out anything later on in the area. Settings world champion, there we are, hello. Okay. One-handed walking. Hold left and right. Oh, right. So you don't have to have a hand on the keyboard. Got it. Oh boy, yes. Enables additional text next to gameplay critical colors. Probably not necessary for me. Translated labels on top of in-world text. Yes? I'd like to know what the other languages say there. All the rest of that looks good. Field of view, I could go out to 90, to be entirely honest with you. All of that seems correct for me. Simplified controls, don't need those. How? Wait. Rebinds control so interactions don't require specific buttons. I don't know if I, You're not a setting world champion yet? You're not a setting local tournament winner yet? What? I can't even win matches in the playground with this? What? But I tried so hard and got so far. You're telling me in the end it didn't even matter? I had to fold to lose it all. Sorry, subtitle size? Up? I'm a settings novice. I'm a setting casual. I've been setting settings since before. I don't see a different setting they would want me to do. How do I become the champion? Reset key bindings. Maybe set this to D. No. Reset settings? It's a Steam achievement for that. Okay. Let's have a look. Set all the setting sliders in the menu to all the available numbers. Ah, right. Oh, sorry. I didn't think we were doing old school rules, so my bad. There we go.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Think that should be it, right? That seems to be all of them that I know. If you just throw them, it skips numbers. You have to go one at a time. What? All right. Let's do this. We did it. Excuse me. I'll have you know I am a world-class settings. I have the achievement. There it is. Wait, let me reload the page. There it is. I have the achievement. Let me do it.
Aha! I can see you've gotten the Settings World Champion achievement. Well done. You've experienced every setting, traveled to all corners of the settings menu. There's nothing you haven't seen. So, just for you, in the Stanley Parable 2, I'm including an entirely new setting, something called bumpscosity. What exactly is bumpscosity? Well, I haven't quite figured that part out yet, but I just know that you'll be able to adjust it on some sort of slider, and that it'll be available from the settings menu. We'll sort the rest of the details out later. I hope you're looking forward to trying out every level of bumpscosity in the Stanley Parable 2.
All right, what bump viscosity do? It starts default at 100. And it increases to 1, 12, 50, 76, 100, and 1000. I mean, I think we need at least 100 of this. We gotta notice it. Max out the bump viscosity? Really? I think that's a bit bold. We may have to turn it back down. I don't know if I'm ready for all that bump. Nor viscosity. Congratulations, Settings World Champion. Great job, you did it. Average humans can only see 76 bump viscosity. Oh, everything past that is actually just, you know, drawing the power of my PC for no reason. I see. Settings World Champion. And a window. Well, I'm glad to have, excuse me. Okay. Why else I'll stay? Now, bump viscosity is a very important setting, so make sure you're confident with it. Ah, you're right. I did feel better about the 100. I'll top it down.